Hey y'all, it's Friday night. Welcome back, and I am so excited to have you all here. I am Florence Donald, and you'll hear a little bit of more about me a little bit later today. But what I'm most excited about is I'm not by myself today. I have a guest here with me, someone who is a very mature, experienced, knowledgeable enterprise technologist. He builds a great business on his own. He is the founder and CEO of Hicks New Media. And really, he works really every day to put out content that raises our consciousness. And he uses a phrase called all the time that says, get out of your own way and rise above the noise. So today, he's going to help you, the wonderful audience that's here with us today, and those who are on replay, raise ourselves a little bit higher, rise above the noise, and help us all on our creator business journey. I'm so excited. I call him my friend, and I am super excited that one of the core four is here with us. Welcome to the show, Mr. James Hicks. I'm going to bring you on here. Mr. Hicks,
Uh-oh.
Mr.
Uh-oh.
Hicks,
Where,
welcome
Mama,
to have
I
you in
done
the
made it.
building.
Where Mama at? Let me tell Mama I done made it. I'm over here with EQIP Institute. About to. How are you, my friend?
I am awesome. I'm awesome today. I'm super excited that you're here. As we were talking a little bit before we started, come a long way. Come a long
Yes.
way.
Yes.
And, you have been with me almost from the very beginning. Actually, you just didn't know it.
I was
Because
lurking in the back. That's what
I,
it was.
w-
I was.
I was in your stream learning and listening long before I said anything. And I didn't know enough of what I was looking at to know
Mm,
how to start taking some of the lessons that you were giving. And now that I'm a little bit more experienced, I'm maybe rocking on my knees at this point. I've figured out how to roll over and I'm rocking on my knees. Um, I watch with a different eye and I hear with a different ear. And I thank you for that. But before I
mm.
tell all about I can go on and on about how much I've learned from you. I would love for you to tell the folks who may not be familiar with you really
Mm.
who is James Hicks, your
Who,
story, who you are.
who in the world? What is the origin story? First and foremost, Lawrence, thank you very much for those words. I'm humbled, and that at the end of the day, that's really what I'm here for. I'm James Hicks. I'm an engineering technologist, been in enterprise technology for about 3.5 decades. Yeah, you see all the gray hair in the beard. So, gone from large organizations in Silicon Valley and then started doing my own thing. Then started doing my own technology consulting and digital publishing. And then when the world stopped,
Mm,
when we had the pandemic, that's when I stopped and paused and relooked at what I wanted to bring to community and to folks that were listening to my message. So that's where I brought mainly in video. That's when I started really locking in terms of how to bring this medium, this discussion, this engagement to the community and have conversations that are uncomfortable at times, have conversations, again, as you iterated, getting out of our own way, have conversations not about just trendy, hypey types of things, but real solutions in terms of how we can get better, how we can get that 2% better each day to either learn from our mistakes, learn from our past, but then get 2% better so we can actually go back and tell somebody else, bring somebody else with us. So that really consciously, that's been my goal, my mission, kind of the mantra of what I do with Hicks New Media is to enlighten, entertain, and educate and provide a forum for the community to learn and expand and grow. So again, thank you for this opportunity to share.
all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen who are out there, we're going to greet you all shortly. It's a little bit about who this gentleman is. There are lots of ways to find him, and we'll talk about that. But if you have not connected with him, please take this opportunity as you listen to connect with him. And what I'm going to implore each and every one of you all to do tonight is ask a question. Ask a question that you would not normally ask, that the one that you've been holding on to and you wanna ask someone and you don't wanna be judged for the question that you're asking. You just want someone who's gonna give you an honest, heartfelt answer to help you get better. Ask it. Today is the day to ask it. So that's my ask of you, is to ask the question, because James will answer, and he will answer thoughtfully and with heart, and that's important for all of us. He's answered a lot of questions for me over the last 2 years.
First and foremost, I want to say shouts out to the moderator. Oh my goodness, Mr. Frank Jackson in the back of the room is, listen, he is the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain, just handling the comments, handling, making sure that we on time, making sure I don't look crazy on camera. So I wanted to give some flowers to your moderator there, Mr. Jackson. Shouts out to you, man.
Absolutely. Oops, I didn't mean to do that one. Hold
I
on.
didn't mean to
Well,
nervous. See that? I didn't do it off now.
you done laid made me nervous. You done made me nervous. But
Don't get the flutter.
we do have the live tribe in the building with us, and so I'm gonna greet y'all, and we're gonna get into a little bit of a conversation. But of course, he called out our moderator, Mr. Frank Jackson, talking about hello, Mr. Hicks. That's his father. Just saying. And I'm gonna skip over this gentleman, but I'm gonna come to this one right here. One of and you all know, if you've been here, put in, if you're a live triber, put hashtag live tribe in, and if you're new, and you haven't been here before, this is your first time with us, put hashtag newbie in. But welcome, Roy, tech troublemaker. I know you're getting ready for Creator Camp. And of course, the emotional CEO. By the way, thank you. Yes, reminding me. Let's go live, tribe. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Love it.
I'm just double checking here. So, um, we will be getting instruction in just so y'all know. We getting instruction from our moderator who is here in the back with us, telling us what to do in chat and everything as well. So, James, let's jump right into some of the conversation we want to have tonight,
Definitely.
because I'm I'm ready to take notes.
You tell me where you want to start, because there's a whole. We almost had a show before we went live, and we should have been recording. And Frank and the moderator, he wanted to charge y'all coming. Okay, he wanted to charge y'all
He
for some
did.
of these Q's and
He
A's, but
he
we're gonna leave it
did.
at
He
that.
wanted to charge y'all.
But I know you wanted to talk, around committing to a team and being able to work together, collaborate, and things of that nature. I wanted to, before we get to that, I wanted to give again some more kudos, some more shouts out, and some more flowers. I know,
Absolutely.
I know a lot of the folks are probably in the chat already as well, but Roy Richardson, tech troublemaker, that man is always working.
Always.
Roy is always out there incrementally testing, trying, uploading, streaming, doing the thing, right? He's always out there in terms of, what can I do to get just a little bit better? What can I do to get a whole lot better? How can I make my production different? How can I make my direction, my preparation? So that could be a core context of this conversation right there. And Roy, hope you're listening still, man. But we see the effort that you put into your craft, and that matters to the folks that are third person looking in, because we see again the fact that you care about what you're doing. You're not stuck in the mud. You're not saying, I'm just going to continue to do this one way because it has worked for a short period of time, and then you start plateauing, whatever the case may be. But you're always willing to go out there and find that next thing in terms of what you can do. Is it different infrastructure? Is it a different run of show? Is it a different conversation piece? Is it different engagement activities, things like that? I just wanted to give you again those flowers and those kudos, because that man is someone who is out here again doing the thing and not
Mm-hmm.
complaining that it's not working.
Right.
He's doing it and he's not complaining that it's not working, because he's out there actually actively engaging and trying to get better every single day. So I just wanted to say that before, because I'm getting old, and I forget things. So I got to say them while they're stuck in my head. Okay.
Well, yes, and I do wanna greet Dr. Otang, from Diaspora Health. Dr. Otang,
Mm,
glad to have you in the building. He is another member of the community, and I do wanna say for those who are commenting this evening, if you put, the word EQUIP, EQUIP, in chat, your channel will come up, and people who are joining us who may not know how to reach you, and see your content, and know that how to find your channel, they will be able to go directly there. So please feel free to use the word equip in the comments. Absolutely, shout out to Roy. He is a man on a mission, as the saying goes. Definitely a man on a mission. So let's start with this, and we're gonna come back to that comment about being stuck.
mhm.
But 2 years. Literally, this show is the 2-year mark of me going live. And that was why it was important for me to have one of my core supporters, one of the core people that I go to and lean on the show, as I call y'all my core four. And so I wanted to have somebody who could speak to me, who
Yeah.
will tell me the hard things that I don't like to hear, but I'll take them anyway. I'll be mad for a hot minute, but then I'll get over it and be okay. But starting from zero, but not just for me, for anyone who's starting on this journey of production and content creation, media creation, live video, and working with a team. Um, Starting from 0, and how do you grow? You said it, incrementally, 1%, 2% better, step by step. What would you say that journey can be like, right? And what kind of mindset a person has to have?
Yeah. And I will say this, you take the feedback and realize that the feedback is not criticism, right? So again, and that one, that piece right there, I want to be real conscious and cognizant of that as well. When you have folks in your life that are willing to give you feedback and actually talk to you about solutions and opportunities to get better, as opposed to you're doing this wrong, this is horrible, your color schemes is off, your white balance on your camera is off. No, propose and position the conversation around a solution as opposed to a challenge or a problem. So the fact that you are able to take that feedback and realize that that's what it is and it's not criticism, that's a huge thing. But let me ask you this: in 2 years, 2 years is a long time to do anything.
Mhm.
How do you feel? Because there's so much time, energy, effort, blood, sweat, tears, finance, emotion. There's a lot that goes into pouring your heart and soul into owning a digital property that is now a global entity.
Mhm.
Think about that.
Wow. Wow. You
You're
just
not
hit
just
me
live
between
stream,
the eyes.
right?
You just
You're not
like,
just
"You
live
already
streaming
doing it,
at
sir."
home. Think about that. You've taken 2 years. How many years is that? How many days? I don't know. You've taken all this time, blood,
And
sweat,
I think
tears,
one of the
finance,
years.
emotion,
Mhm.
all the things, you,
Mistakes.
everything, right? You turn the lights on, you press record, you do the thing, and you start talking into the camera. You're not just talking to the people across the street. You have a global audience. They all may not attend when you're live Friday night, but there's that replay squad. So folks are watching as well. So it's always out there. How do you feel now that you've gone through this portion of the journey?
More energized. I feel more energized than I even expected to, because like you said, there have been some days I'm like, "Am I gonna continue?"
Yeah.
I don't want to. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. But I really feel inside, I feel energized, and that there's so much more for me to do in terms of helping people. It's not about tech. It's not even about, it's about helping that person out there who's looking for how to deal with this enterprise that I have, whether it's their business, whether it's their nonprofit, their home, whatever it is. How do I deal with the mountain of things that come at me every day? and not lose my mind
How do you do
and
that?
not get overwhelmed and then go into a depression where you curl up in the bed and don't get out, because that
You can do it
happens to
once in a while.
people.
Yeah, do it once. It happens to me
Um
every now and then too. Every Wednesday night after my sports show, because we get into some real deep discussions. I'll
Y'all
lay
do
right here
get
on
in
this floor.
y'all do get into some deep discussions.
Listen, I'll have a glass of scotch and I'll lay on the floor in the fetal position for about an hour. It's not a good look, but
But I feel very energized. I can s I can see the
mm,
maturing that has occurred, and I'm not talking about age-wise, even though I am aging, but the maturing in terms of how I present, what I present, uh, settling into who I'm comfortable being out here, because I can just be me. I can't be somebody else.
yeah,
And as I say, I'm a simple Iowa girl, and that's who I'm gonna be. So I'm smart, and I'm not confused about being smart. I am smart, and I don't hide from it. But at the same time, I'm a simple Iowa girl, and I will always be that simple Midwestern Iowa girl. And
yeah.
bringing her to the table is I'm comfortable with that.
That takes a level of, I'm gonna call it maturity as well, because at the core, that's really something that helps folks who are out here positioning themselves in front of folks that they know, folks that they don't know, trolls, um,
And
enthusiasts,
other
fans,
things.
fanatics, just everyone, right? It takes a lot of self awareness before you can actually do that, and that strength, that callus of the skin, that callus of the mind, callus of the brain, really is a critical piece that shouldn't be overlooked, right? Some of it I think you can teach, but some of it is innate, and some of it is just upbringing and just how you have dealt with life overall, and by having that, you know that you can't boil the ocean, right? You know you can't be the end all to be all for every single thing and every single person and every single topic.
Mhm.
Not necessarily saying that you have to completely niche, right? So within this whole content creation ecosystem, folks always talk about niching down and only doing one thing, and maybe having a channel that only talks about this. Even though you're a multifaceted person, you want to talk about a whole lot of things. I'm saying is be comfortable and confident and aware in who it is that you are, so you don't let those external entities bog you down with a whole bunch of noise. Talk about tools and talk about process, talk about platforms, talk about strategies, talk about all those things. All of those things I just talked about could be different channels, but that's what you talk about, and but you bring them all into one consistent, focused conversation. And
Mhm.
when you do that, whatever the trajectory, whatever the outcome of success is, don't let it be subscribers. Don't let it be viewers. Don't let it be super chats. Let it be impact. Let it be the value that you give folks, because you can have 209 subscribers. Just look at you. You can have 209 subscribers, and if 209 people paid you $300 an hour for consultancy services, you're doing all right. If that's your measure of success,
Mhm.
right? Because again,
Mhm.
you're out there, you've got a global entity, you've got a global presence, something that you own online right now, which is reachable across the planet. If you provide services, consultancy, coaching, teaching, master classes, whatever the case may be, if you provide that service to the 209 folks, they all show up at whatever cost per head for that intimate session with on an equipped institute session.
Mhm.
That's a sound business plan. That's a sound business model. That's actually something that you can be well taken care of from a financial perspective, from a business perspective. So don't worry about, again, folks, don't worry about the analytics. Look at the analytics, know the analytics, but don't harp on them. Don't let them overtake you in terms of not being the creative entity that you are. Don't stop and look at someone who's been doing YouTube for 10 years and who has a million views on something that they just put out and who's been doing this forever, who has 100,000 subscribers. Don't let them be the ones that are your target. Write it down what you're trying to do. Write it down what you want to do. Write it down where you are today. Write it down where you want to go from the short, mid, and long term. Have that vision board. Have that whiteboard. Have that planner that says, this is my goal, my mission, and keep track of that. I know I said a whole lot and kind of going all around the place, but I just wanted to kind of make it clear that after 2 years, you've gotten to a point where you are making impact. You are bringing value. You are having clients reach out to you from your channel, from the conversation that you're having, and you've got incremental value, not just incremental revenue. You're bringing incremental value to those individuals that you're talking to. And if they like what you do, they're going to tell somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go mushroom and blossom into some different types of opportunities. You do some other things right now, and I'm not going to put all your business out there in the street, but you do a lot of things right now that you probably wouldn't have done if you didn't have this digital property, if you didn't have this online property. That has opened up some doors.
Mm-hmm.
So the size, viewers, subscribers, don't pay attention to that. Don't live in that right there. That's very short term. If you know who you are and you know what the value that you want to bring overall to a community, you should be thinking way outside of that box anyway. You should be thinking
Yeah.
about much higher stakes.
Yeah. So, gang, you're hearing a master give a, and I know this is not what you subscribe to, because I've heard you enough. But everyone, you're hearing a master give a master class right now.
Hate that word,
And
master. I hate that as
I
much as I hate the word
know.
influencer. I hate the
hear
word
you in
influencer.
KP. I hear you in KP. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. But there is someone who has become important to me, who has joined us, and so I just want to say hello to Miss Yolanda. Yolanda Ravens. Talk with Yolanda. So glad to
Hey,
have you in the building with
oh
us.
shoot.
She
Let's
in
talk about
here.
Lamar
She in
Jackson.
here.
Wait, let's
Yolanda,
talk
if you
about.
want to join us, you got the link. Come on into the lounge. We will bring you into the show. You know how to get
Ask you some
here.
questions about Lamar Jackson.
Uh-oh.
He
Now
no,
you
but
trying to
and a
start
good thing. He
something.
no, he a bad man. Y'all looked good last. Okay, he looked good last week.
So, we talked to shared some of the mindset that as you start and as you grow,
Yeah.
one should have. Let's talk about a little bit about when leaders who are purpose driven, people who really, and I say purpose driven because let me explain. I've never explained this, but purpose driven, not from the perspective that the only thing you care about is money.
Hmm.
Purpose driven, you have a mission, you have a group of people who are, they're waiting for your voice and for you to help them. And whether it's live video or some other, you've been called to a purpose in your life, and I'm going to leave that there. But you don't do it alone.
Hmm.
You don't accomplish that alone. You work with a team of people, and that team um, can come in many ways, and we're going to talk about that. But you work with the team of people. How important have you found? Because I know you do a lot of collaboration and working with folks. Can you share a little bit about your thoughts about the importance of not neglecting or ignoring or taking your team for granted?
I'm gonna try to keep the conversation positive because I got some challenges with some teams, but that's okay. We gonna pray for everybody. We gonna
Yes,
listen.
sometimes you do give some strong conversations. I'm just gonna leave
we
it there. We're not gonna go any
yeah,
further than that.
we
We're
ain't gonna
gonna
go
leave
too
that
far.
right there.
But
Y'all,
look,
he can cut you. Just saying.
I'll cut you. I'll look at you and smile and cut you too. But it's
Exactly.
all in love. It's all in love. Listen, I don't know why, folks, and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say this. I'll this is gonna be a conversation for everybody, but I'm gonna go ahead and say this, then we'll move on. I don't know, especially why black folks always feel that can't work together. like there's a crab in a barrel situation. I don't understand why within a community, within the community, within that community, and again, talking about a lot of folks as well, but there always seems to be some negativity when someone is trying to get ahead, when someone is trying to bring a lot of folks up together. It's either intimidation, it's either uh, a pride, it's either selfishness. I don't know what it is, but that has got to stop because no one can do anything successful alone. That's a lonely life as well. If you don't want to bring your brother and your sister, if you don't want to bring your colleague and your friend, if you don't want to bring your counterpart, if you don't want to bring somebody else with you, who are you going to share the victory with? And if you don't have someone that you can bounce ideas off, if you don't have someone that you can have those hard conversations with, you can have those debates with, that feedback and that criticism, and just some of that hard hitting conversation with someone third person looking in kind of thing. If you don't have someone standing right next to you to have that conversation with, how are you going to know if you are really making an impact? If you just listening to yourself,
Mm,
you
mm.
I told myself many a lie in 54 years.
It sound
Okay.
good in your head.
Right. Again, I'm gonna
It
try to
sound real good in
keep
your
it
head,
positive
right?
here, but read between lines for just in terms of what I'm saying. If you agree with me, you agree with me. If you don't agree with me, fine as well. But put it in the comments. But what I'm saying is be open to the collaboration. Be open to the extended hand who wants to help. Be open to that person that calls you at 10 o'clock at night and says, James, you might want to tighten this up because your content is dope, but your delivery and the look and feel of the production could use just an extra something. And when I this real life story, I probably told this
And
on your
I
show
know who
before,
it
Florence,
was too.
right? And when I got that feedback, when I got that insight, y'all know I stayed up for 2 hours and I corrected all of the things that that person saw because they told it to me in love, and I was 2% better the next time I went online because I was able to take that, harness it, listen to it, not shy away from it, not say like, what's he talking about? He don't know what he's doing. Yeah, he does, because the person that came with that information is well established digitally and brick and mortar from a content delivery entertainment perspective. So that was someone I looked up to. Long story short, long answer short, don't try to do anything alone. It's not worth it. It's too hard. It and what we do is not that hard, but if you try to do it yourself, it's too hard because you're trying to do the production, you're trying to do the direction, you're trying to do the moderation, you're trying to do the run of show, you're trying to do the marketing and the advertising, you're trying to do all the thing and still have a conversation with the audience and with the other person you're doing a talking head interview with. I'm not that good. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Let me
Okay.
get me
Well,
a cup of
we
coffee.
got some new
I'm just drinking coffee. I'm sorry.
no no worries.
We don't have no scotch in here just yet.
We got some new folks who have shown up, and I want to definitely greet them as we go into this. We've got, and I'm gonna laugh at him, Mr. David Hunt talking about first. No, not first, sir. Welcome to the
David
show
Hunt probably
this
first in the
evening.
morning because man, he be online
Exactly,
early in the morning.
exactly. And then
That's a
we
bad
have,
man.
and I'm going to say moderator salute to this young lady, Miss Inanea. Thank you for being here. She's one of our
Mm,
channel moderators. Is phenomenal. And this is an example. I met her in this live streaming journey,
love it.
and she shows up. She greets people. She does the moderator thing. She is so reliable. She's super reliable, and I love it. I love it, and it even helps me, and we've got our own little thing going with David Hunt and Inanea and, Yolanda, uh, Frank, the emotional CEO, all moderators on one or more channels, most on more than one channel, And I really appreciate even learning, and that's part of that team, right? It's a team of people
Yeah.
who you're learning skills from, and you're taking lessons from, and you you got a kindred because they understand what it's like to be doing that very thing. That if you've not done it and you're not gonna do it, you can't understand what it's like to be in the
Mhm.
background supporting someone else.
Yeah, I mean, you think the nuance
That's
of
amazing
doing
to me.
right. I mean, again, the nuance of doing all of because we're specifically talking about content creation and digital production and things of that. The nuance of runs of show, the nuance of production, of making sure folks have an outline, that have the link to the broadcast studio, that know what the topic is going to happen, making sure that there's no spam in the comments and things like that, doing all of the administrative piece. And then it's very interesting when you have those like-minded folks in the same room, because a lot of times roles can reverse and roles can change. Right?
Mhm.
You don't always
Yes.
have to be the one that's always on camera doing all of the talking and doing all
Right.
that piece. That can shift, and you can have differences of perspective, and
Mhm.
that makes everybody in that room that much better. If I'm in a room and y'all think I'm the smartest one in that room, kick me out. I listen, I'm in the wrong
Oh,
place.
no. Don't
I'm
kick him
I'm just
out.
trying to be there. I'm just trying to be there writing some notes with my number two pencil and soaking it all up. And again, being
Not with the
humble to
number
that
2
perspective.
pencil.
I'm
Come on,
I'm I'm
Gretchen.
old
Number 2
school. I'm old
pencil.
school. As I got my Apple pencil in my
With
hand,
your
I know
Apple pencil in
I'm
your hand.
I'm I'm lying. I'm lying to myself. I should stop that. But you
Hey,
you, you get the idea. Come on, now, let's get focused now. Don't throw your boy
I'm
off
not.
the.
Well, we gotta, folks are coming in. Hey, Philip, so glad to see you in the building. So I hope you are coming along and things are getting a little bit easier. I know it's a journey. It is a journey. And welcome to the show, Michael Flemons. I want to remind everybody, if you have a channel where you're putting out content, feel free to go ahead and put the word equip in the chat, and your channel will display for everyone to know how to connect with you.
That right.
Um,
So hold on, come on. Let's not gloss over that. That right
what?
there is so dope. I know
What?
what you're doing because I know what you're doing. But that piece of engagement, that little tidbit of information. Again, someone puts in because I know how you're doing. I know the technology that you're using to do that. But again, you've leveled up enough to whereas you now have engagement amongst the community as they're here live by just using the hashtag or by just using a keyword.
Mhm.
You weren't doing that 2 years ago. You
Nope.
you weren't doing
Didn't
that
even know it
one
could be
year ago,
done. Didn't know it was a thing. And thank you, David Hunt. He's the one who helped me get it going.
right?
Talk
So
about
so so
that
that so
moderator
that right
team.
there, yeah, see that right there is not just 2%. That's 10% better than what a lot of folks are doing. But it makes sense for your community, your stream, your conversation. It may not make sense for everyone, but that makes sense to build that collaboration, to build that engagement. Folks of a like mind coming to Equip Institute can put that in there, and they can feed off of each other. Then that community can continue to grow. Then you can start if you I know you're doing it already, you can have your private community, your private Zooms, your private lounge, your private environment where you have conversations specific to you because why? Folks came to your session, were comfortable in sharing. You made it easy for them to do,
Mhm.
very low from a friction perspective. So they're like, yeah, no, I rock with Florence. Yeah, let's do that. She, gave me an opportunity to share, and she read my comment on screen, and she listened to me, and didn't kick me out of the comments, all that. Those things like that. And again, having that tribe around you, having that inner circle of yours around you, where you can communicate and bounce ideas off, and the fact that you're willing to listen to them and not be like, no, I didn't think about that. We're not doing that mess. You crazy. But again, hearing different perspectives, that's how you get into up to 10% better the next time you go live. All right. I'm sorry. There we go.
No,
Squirrel
no
moment, but
word.
I
No
wasn't, I didn't want to let that,
worries.
I didn't want to let that just gloss over because again, that's a significant incremental piece that you've done
Mhm.
that I think folks should hear about.
Yeah. So we're gonna get to questions. So if you have a question, Please put Q colon in front of it, and we're going to answer your questions a little bit later in the show. We're not going to ignore you. Um, and we want to make sure that we don't forget. So Q colon will help me find it faster so that we can answer your questions. And again, tonight's the night to ask the questions, y'all. You got somebody here who James Hicks, no cut cards. He's gonna answer your questions,
I'll shoot it to you straight.
but he will do it with heart. He will do it with heart.
All heart
So
and love, right? I tell you if the baby's ugly, but
yeah, he will tell you. Ooh, he be telling CEOs they baby ugly. I'm like, you did not tell them they baby
yeah,
ugly, and he told them
yeah,
they
you did
baby
hear
was
some of that.
ugly.
I do, man. I'm the most
He will
non-corporate
tell he
person in the
will tell
corporate
you your
world.
baby is ugly.
Lord have mercy. I am the most non-corporate person in the corporate world, but it's all good. Again, all love. All come on, y'all. Let's grow together. Let's grow together.
So let's dig into this team thing a little bit because this is all about team as you grow. There are so many layers, as I've learned, to a team. Me coming out of corporate America, it was easy. Well, corporate American ministry uh, was easy to see team from that perspective.
Mm,
But for me, I think I've blossomed it. You talked about a little bit of uh, uh, blossom into understanding the composition of your team,
mm,
um, whether it's community members, coaches. You know, before you ever came on the show, I went and got your book and started learning from that and using it, and that's part of my coaching mechanism. So let's talk about using a team to scale up your output and your growth in this journey as a creator and in a small business. Because whether
yeah.
you admit it or not, once you start turning them lights on, it's a small business.
Listen, and kind of already touched on some of it, but the idea is know where you are, know where you want to go short and midterm. Long term, whatever long term is from digital creator, entrepreneur, solopreneur perspective, that's different for everyone. For me, long term is 3 years. Short mid is 6 months, a year, 18 months. That's my short mid. But know the role that you want to play and know what you're good at. If you are good at being the host of a conversation, of a talking head conversation, and you can carry a show with somebody else or however many guests that you have and do the conversation, great. But that's not the end of it. Because after this show, there is 60 to 75 minutes, maybe 90 minutes worth of content that needs to be cut up and shared as well, because not everyone is going to come back, watch the replay, and watch the whole thing. But if you can make bite-sized pieces of some critical content, of some engaging content, and you can share that with your community or share that with uh, the grander internet, someone has to do that. So from an editing perspective, from a publishing perspective, from a social media aggregator perspective, having other folks on your team to do that. Don't try to do it all yourself. You can, but I'm telling you, the word burnout is real, and you can burn out. And what'll happen is you'll get to a point where you're less enthused and you're less excited about doing the thing that you liked from the beginning, because you know that the pre, the intro, and the post part. When you get to that post part, you're no longer going to enjoy sharing the content. So know when it's time to bring in folks to help you scale, to help you with the production, to help you with the aggregation of your content. If you're again, if you're great and if you know that you can do the interview thing all day, every single day, do that either live or batch record. Send that off to an editor. Send that off to someone who can cut it up and do the micro content. You get what you pay for. And if you are willing to put in the time, energy, effort, and money to do some of those extra administrative things, you will see you will see value and you will see benefit and you will see growth in that, because a
Mhm.
lot it's 24 hours. It's 24. I can't do it all.
1,440.
She said it. You can't do it. You can't do it all. You can't. There's no amount of coffee that I can sit here and drink and try to stay wired and be on point. And prep for a show, do a show, share a show, market it, advertise, talk to brands, do all that stuff. It's all phenomenal. It's all great, but why do it yourself? Why not have again that collective, that collaborative, that inner circle, some folks that you can pass off some of those torches to, where they can do some of those incremental pieces.
Mhm.
Either you're paying them or you're not. But and again, the payment can be very different. Payment doesn't always have to be in the dollars and cents. It can be kind of a barter thing. Again, it could be uh, you do a transcription for someone else while they do your micro content, or you do a moderation for someone while they do your run of show creation. Right? There's many different ways of winning and winning for both sides. To whereas again, you
Winning and
don't have to
winning.
do every single thing.
Mm,
Both
I
sides
like
can
that,
win.
winning and winning. Mhm.
Right? But both sides can win by again, back to the word collaboration, back to the terms of working together. Everybody can win. It doesn't always have to be monetarily expensive to get ahead. So
The
that's about scaling the team, right? Of
right.
course, you start small because it's just you. You got a great idea, and you want to you share it with the world. You do the things. You see that there's now starting to become more activity that's involved in it. Find Don't find a whole bunch of folks. Find the core folks. Find folks that you really can rock with. Find folks that you really gel with, and then find maybe again some of those yin and yangs as well. Just don't go out there and try to find a whole squad. Just find a crew,
I don't need a posse.
right?
Don't I
You know
don't
what I'm
need a
saying?
posse.
Yeah, again, you don't need a squad. Just get a crew. Get some folks, some like-minded folks where you can bounce things off regularly. And again, you do this, I do this, we do this. This is high priority. This is middle priority. This can wait. This is more long term, right? Just start thinking through, talking through, working through some of those aspects. And then this whole idea of building a digital enterprise becomes manageable.
Yeah.
It's
That's
less
right, the
intimidating.
productivity, it's what are you putting out, right?
Mhm.
So many people I've I've heard people say to me, you talk about productivity, what I've described to people is understand what I mean when I say productivity, and that is the thing that you intend to produce, what you're putting out. Some people call it what you make, but that's where it's productivity. It's not in busyness. It's in every action you take, every decision you make is geared to move you toward that output that you're seeing, that thing that you're supposed to put in the world.
Say that again, because product being productive does not necessarily mean busy.
It
Being
doesn't mean
busy
being
does not
busy.
mean being productive.
Right. You can be very busy and get and not produce a single solitary
Not get a
thing.
thing done. Ooh, I'm tired.
And
I was
you
busy today.
exactly and did not produce anything that day. But you can be not as busy and produce a whole lot. And it's learning the skills. What I focus on is learning the skills to navigate how you put a process together. Like you're really, really a master at the repurposing process, something I'm learning from you. Um, but this, and I'm saying this for the community to hear because it goes to that having the team. I've watched James, and then I ask James questions, and then I see what he produces, and he's not looking crazy busy. He is busy traveling, enterprise tech, Hicks New Media, family, helping a whole bunch of people. But he's learned to do it in a way that is sustainable.
Mm, that's a good point. Yeah.
And that's what I want to even get better at, but more importantly I want us to help this community,
Yeah.
this
Um,
purposeful productivity community to get better in that way. And it's, multiple layers.
what? So at a granular level, and I won't give all of the keys to the kingdom away because then you got to reach out to your boy for a consultancy. We can do that, but
Hicks,
I
James
hint
Hicks dot link. James Hicks
I
dot
hinted.
link.
See, there you go. See, you throwing it out there. I didn't do it, but and I hinted at it before. I know better than try to go out there and boil the ocean. I have a handful of key assets within my toolkit that I leverage and I use and I have learned. And the fact that I've learned it, the fact that I've read the manual, the fact that I've tried to break them and put them back together and work through them, I'm not bad. I'm okay. Your boy's pretty good at these tools. Not out there trying to do every single thing, and I don't have to get the latest thing every single time. I, as a coach, as a consultant, as a subject matter expert, as a subject, as a advisor, things of that nature, whatever the adjective you want to use, it is imperative of me to know about those things. I need to know about Final Cut. I need to know about Da Vinci. I need to know about CapCut. I need to know about right. So all of those list of things, but I cannot go out there and every single time I do a session like tonight when I cut up this, I'm gonna take Florence and show and I'm gonna chop it up as well. I'm not gonna go out there and try to use five tools to try to do one thing. I know how to do that, but that's just being busy. That's not using my time efficiently and effectively, right? Because there's time to market as well. So I want to get this data, this information, this sharing out to Florence's community and my community in a timely manner within 24 hours. So I'm gonna pull it down into two tools that I'm gonna use to do the thing with, as opposed to sitting there and overthinking, over planning, over, right? And
Over everything.
instead of over analyzing what the end goal or the end result is.
Mhm.
Because quite frankly and quite honestly, the metrics show it, and the analytics show it, and the community comments have shown that being too perfect really isn't what people want. They want to hear us flubbing. They want to hear me saying the ums and the ahs. They want to hear and they want to see the reality. They want to see the jazz hands. That's what I call them. My wife knows whenever I start talking, I get excited. The jazz hands. They want to see those imperfections because that actually shows the reality. One that shows that I'm excited, I'm enthused, and I'm passionate about the conversation. Same with what Florence does. But
Mhm.
if I was to spend a whole bunch of time, if I was to spend 3 hours editing out every things of this nature, I say that a lot, but I say it out on purpose. Shouts out to my wife's grandfather. That's something that he's always said. But if I spent all the time trying to perfect it, tweak it, that takes out the personality. That takes out me. Eh, there's nothing in that. Then it's just a chat bot. Then it's just an AI algorithm. Then it's just a Optimus Prime. What did Elon do last night? Then it's just
I
the
don't even
robots
know
out
because I
there,
don't watch.
right? Right. Then it's just that a lifeless bot, large language model that's spitting out information. So I wanted to tie that into kind of what you were saying as well. Just being able to, again, I keep calling it do the thing, but being able to do the thing, be effective, be productive, and not being busy, knowing that you can't boil the ocean by trying to do every single thing all the time, knowing you need to leverage others and leverage others' expertise.
Mhm.
That's how you scale. That's how you scale.
Yeah. I've learned with you and gone through this that, uh relationships are critical. Being that you started with this, but having positive relationships, I am super duper fortunate. Last week, and I'll put a link to the card somewhere up here on top. But I talked about the team that started with me and the team that's still with me. I realize I'm super fortunate that everyone doesn't get to start day one with the team, and I was fortunate enough to be able to start with the team. Now, only one of us knew anything about social media, about marketing, about the other two of us, me being chief one, didn't know a thing. No clue. No clue. But was fortunate and we've grown together. And I don't take that for granted because I know that that is having that immediate support is not everyone's story.
Yeah.
And then starting to meet people like you and Roy and so many in the building with us tonight that each have poured into me and I can call on. But for all leaders, building those communities I found and building those relationships and cherishing those relationships is more important than the tech, more important than the tools, more important than the distribution medium. The relationships is what matter.
Hmm.
And even when we make a mistake, we all make mistakes. Let me just say this: if you think you perfect, you are telling a story to yourself and everybody else because you ain't. None of us are, and we're gonna make mistakes. We're going to not intentionally, but we're human.
I
And
try to make mistakes. I do. I mean, I'm
I
thinking of
think I
something that
do
I can
too, and
do literally
I'm
right now on this stream to do something.
I
But again,
will.
that's just a different mindset for me. But I'm sorry to interject. But
I
that
don't even have to try to make mistakes. I I am a whole comedy act to myself. I'd be like, "Girl, how in the world did you do that?"
and I'll say this: the reason I say that is because if I make a mistake, if I hit the wrong button, if I switch cameras, if I play an audio track or something that I'm not supposed to, it helps me to learn next time. Right?
Mhm.
Maybe
Mhm.
push some of this gear away so again, me with these jazz hands don't bump into uh the roadcaster, so I accidentally hit and do something like that. If I didn't mean to do that, but
Mhm.
I look to those situations and grow from them. So I'm prepared either during that I talked about pre, intra, and post. So I'm prepared during that pre time, during that pre checklist. I know that have all my gear to a point where again I'm not going to accidentally bump into it. Is the batteries charged in the camera? My lights at the right white balance? Is this, and this is everything right? So that checklist is written in pencil. It's not written in pen. Continues to evolve. Continues to iterate. Even even down to that list of people. This is business, folks. This ain't personal. Some folks sometimes got to get kicked to the curb. If they not willing to see, okay. If they not
Oh my
always
goodness.
if they're not
Careful.
willing to grow, if they're not willing to heed. Again, I'm not trying to be the smartest person in the room. I'm just very upfront and open about communication and conversation. If there are folks within your environment who say that they want to grow, who say that they want to do, but they don't do, and they continue to procrastinate, they continue to, again, get in their own way, they continue to not open the arms, lift up the phone, send the email to ask for assistance. Man, listen, I can't motivate anybody. I can encourage, but I can't motivate you. That's something that's innate. That can't be taught.
It's inside.
That
It's inside.
motivational piece. Listen, if you're not ready to rock, we serious out here. A lot of us are serious out here in these streets, building content creation, digital businesses, being an entrepreneur, doing this thing. We not playing. This is not just a side hustle, a side gig. If that's what you are doing, cool, fine. Stay in that lane, do your thing. Wish you nothing but the success. Continue to reach out. We'll help. We'll talk. Help you with any information. But a lot of us LLC folks are out here building business models, talking about KPIs, key performance indicators, talking about SOP, standard up, right? We really leveling up conversation and talking about bigger things, talking about strategy as opposed to just fun. We're making it fun. We're keeping it fun as well, but rock with the folks that are rocking with you as well,
Where
right?
you are.
Stay with
Maybe a
folks that
little
are
bit
on,
higher than you. A
you
little
know,
bit further along.
yeah. Stay with folks that are going with the headwind. Less tailwind folks. Stay with more headwind folks.
Okay, awesome.
See, there I go again. Man, can't take me no place. Frank gonna kick me off the screen.
Hey, so we're going to talk about this last thing because everybody always wants to talk about tools and apps. So, equipment and apps, I'm going to talk about, but from a different perspective. Not,
Hmm.
I'm not going to ask what tools are best or, what you can drop that in, any of that in that you want to. And I've got some that I definitely want to share with the community. But I want to talk about from the perspective of we're talking about growing yourself and growing with your team. And
Hmm.
as you go through this journey, and again, this live video content creation, it's an example. It could be you're growing a bakery, you're growing your family. This is just it's the example. It's the
Hmm.
placeholder example. Um, as you start and grow, you will find that you and your team. This is what has been my story. Myself and my team need different type of equipment that we may not be familiar with, apps that we've never used. Uh, what are your thoughts about having folk who I say it this way, folk who wanna use digital tools the way they were using them when Microsoft Mail hit the street in 1980 something, and they
How
just
much
don't
time we got
want
left?
to
How much
they
time we got
don't
left?
wanna they push against learning something new and listening, and in that way, it becomes its own roadblock within the team growing. Any thoughts about that? That's one that
Yeah. Um, I'll
I'm
restate
curious
what I
about.
said. What I said behind the scenes, and this is for the audience. What's old is old. What's new is new. Meaning that in this world, and especially in this technology-centric world, things are changing rapidly. Right. With the advent and the introduction to the consumer, not necessarily to folks within the technology space, but with the introduction to the consumer of generative AI types of technologies, um, so much is changing so very fast. And the way that you learn, as Lauren said, Word, the way that you learned Excel and DOS and let me think of something else. Let me think of some of the old school Microsoft, whatever. The way that we learn some of them old school Dreamweaver. I've been looking at Dreamweaver. There's a little kerfuffle happening in the WordPress community right now. So I
If you
made a
say
joke about
access, Imma
Dreamweaver.
fall out this chair.
Lord, listen, I know my access. I know my relational database. I built some access. Okay, but stay aware, stay abreast, and understanding that what's old is old and what's new is new. And you do need to be current in terms of some of these platforms and tools. Why? Mainly because of the integrations, right? Again, because if you're trying to reach a global world, coming from business folks, if you're trying to reach a global world, not everyone uses or wants to use PayPal. Takes a whole lot off the top. More folks are using Venmo and Stripe and Cash App, however way you do your invoicing, but having those options and having that flexibility. Um, Tools from a CRM and from a client management perspective as well, right? The notions of the world, the ClickUps of the world, um, uh, I can't think of some of the other ones, but those are the main ones that but some of the older platforms for just housing names, housing email addresses, and housing last time that you reached out to them, those may not work again from a global, evolving, moving marketplace. So don't get locked down into a specific tool. Don't get locked down into a specific platform, but get locked down into functionality and how it can help you today, short and midterm. Make sure you stay up. Again, you get what you pay for, so you can't get everything for free. You can't get
Rep
everything on for a
Say
lifetime
that
deal on
again.
AppSumo.
Say that again.
some, sometimes you may have to go ahead and get that subscription to X, Y, and Z platform. Why? Because yeah, they've been around for a while. They're globally recognized. That's why Adobe is Adobe. Adobe has problems, and they went through some licensing and some conversations about that. But there's a reason why Premiere, Lightroom, Photoshop. There's a reason why Adobe is Adobe versus some of the tools that we want to find free across the internet to do the activities that we have to do as it comes to creating content, creating collateral, and creating information. Nothing wrong with them, but again, just know that those may not be as geared for longevity. When again, you should be thinking about longevity as opposed to just those short-term goals. So tools
Mm,
is an interesting conversation. I like to give people three options, specifically when I have conversations about recommending tools. That's specifically why I just mentioned what I say,
Notion,
CapCut.
ClickUp, and
Yeah,
so
so
forth. Yeah,
those kinds of things. Because
um, Smart Suite, Monday, any of
yes,
those. Asana.
Monday.com. Yeah,
Yeah.
Monday.com. So I give those three or four options. I say the one that I use. I've got insights to all of those, but depending on the use case, make a higher class, a higher course recommendation. But I'm not married to any of those platforms. Some of you guys in the chat know that I work a lot with some of these generative AI content clipping platforms as well. I'm not married to any of them, and I've told a lot of them that
They baby ugly.
they baby that they baby is ugly, but they respect that. They respect that forthrightness. Is that a word? Hey Frank, is that
Yes.
a word? Okay, but they respect that, and again, I think they appreciate the fact that I say that, and all transparency, each one knows who I work with. I tell this company that I'm also a brand partner with this company, and I tell the same thing to the others as well. I don't give away NDA I don't give away secrets, or I don't give away anything that's not public knowledge. But I tell them honestly where they can iterate and probably do just a little bit better. Not again because I think I know everything, but again from a user who's actually out here positioning these tools or these platforms or it's advocating for these companies that I work with. I don't work with everyone that I don't advocate for. I use the word advocate instead of influence. If I don't advocate for you, if I do advocate for you, I'm going to tell you when that baby's ugly. I'm going to tell you when there are some certain things within either the UI or the delivery of the end goal or the end product that you need to work on, that you need to fix. So again, long answer short, don't get locked down into specific platforms or specific tools. Find the real use case that you need. Make sure that it meets those today, tomorrow, and near future types of requirements that you have for your business. And if you don't know today, midterm and short term and midterm, that's where you need to go get that whiteboard, that vision board, and write it down. You got to do that.
Awesome.
If
Awesome.
you haven't done that, no coach, no consultant, no teacher can help you. If you don't know what it is that you're trying to do, if you don't know who you are and what you want to do first, we can't help you. You don't have to have
Mm.
the entire thing. You don't have the entire thing A to Z. But if you can't very succinctly give that elevator pitch of who you are, it'll be tough for someone to come in and try to help you mold and shape and grow and elevate your business.
So we do have one or two questions out there. I'm going to start with this one because this young man has he has a question and it's from his heart and I this is one I want you to take, James.
Mm.
Mike Phillman says, I don't have enough subscribers. How do I reach that high level? Now I have a question that I want to ask, but I'm gonna let you tackle this before I jump in. You want me to put it back
Surprise.
up there?
Yeah, subscriber count. I couldn't get the word out of my Lord. Subscriber count should not be again that measure of success, Mike. It's a good question, and I applaud you for even asking the question. And it's a valid question, but at the end of the day, that that hero metric, that number, yeah, we wanted to grow and we wanted to get higher. Yeah, because again, as a human, as a endorphin, as an adrenaline, as a just a sign of acceptance, as a sign of progress. We want to see those subscribers grow. We want to see the viewers grow. We want to see the reach grow. However, again, and I specifically called out and mentioned, Florence numbers. Even with modest numbers, you're reaching that many people on a regular recurring basis. And once you learn some of the tools on the back end, you learn some of the administrative stuff, you learn about tagging, you learn about SEO, you learn about the marketing and the advertising, you learn about how to do that thing, about how to elevate the message above the noise, because there's a lot of noise out there. If you learn how to position yourself kind of in that stratosphere with using the right hashtags and using the right keywords and then SEO optimization and things of that, then you get folks outside of that 209 that are seeing your content, right? You're speaking specifically of YouTube. They're seeing your content because it's showing up on their For You pages. It's showing up on their dashboard. Now you got to make it pleasing for them to make that next step. You got to do the thumbnail thing. You got to do the title thing, right? So you got to do and learn those individual pieces before you can start seeing that hockey stick in term growth trajectory. So the content is king. Make sure that the content reaches folks by leveraging the algorithms, leveraging the process, leveraging the tools with the SEO, search engine optimization, the hashtags and the keywords and things of that. Making sure that once someone sees your content, leaders must commit to your team. I'm looking at the title for this session right here. That make sure that that first picture that they see, that thumbnail, attracts. Make sure that that title, leaders must commit to your team. Make sure that that attracts. Make sure that the first few lines of the description attracts, because folks have 30, 60, 90 seconds attention span, and they're scrolling left and they're scrolling right. And if those three or four things don't catch my attention, I'm just going to move on. So content, um, search engine optimization, look and feel being the thumbnail and the title. And it'll come. It
It
the
will
numbers
come.
will come. Yeah, the
It will
numbers will come.
come.
The numbers will come before you know it. Don't get bogged down in waiting for the numbers to come. What's really cool, okay, speaking about subscribers, about what YouTube is doing, next week on the 15th, when they open up, this
It's
is a
a
pro and a con.
3-minute
Yeah,
shorts.
yeah, this is a pro and a con. That's why I kind of hesitate. This is glass half full, kind of empty kind of thing. But once they elongate the ability once they enable the ability to have elongated longer shorts, and all the shorts are monetized, man, it's tough to get 60 seconds. But if I got 3 minutes, I don't have to use the whole 3 minutes. But a lot of times, if I just had like 70 seconds instead of 60 seconds, I can get that full thought through. But once they enable longer shorts, and they're not just 9 by 16, but they're also 1 by 1. So they're not just in that
Vertical,
aspect
they're
ratio, but
square.
they're also 1 by 1. That's going to be hot, and that's coming on the 15th. And then there's some more community tab types of capabilities. There's some more
Mhm.
uh, options coming geared specifically for smaller channels as well. So it's taking forever. It's taking a long time, but YouTube seems to really be honing and listening into the creators that came out of the pandemic. Since that time, when folks really started wanting to do video, I think since then it's taken 4 or 5 years for YouTube to say more and more people are building brands, building businesses, building presence on this platform. Let's help them succeed.
I heard, the head of the YouTube Partner Program say something in an interview with Renee Ritchie this week
Mm,
that, and this was its comment. So, y'all, if you haven't seen that video, that interview that Renee Ritchie, who is the, creator liaison for, um, YouTube, so he's advocating for us as creators within the YouTube organization. But the head of the partner program made the comment that it is their goal to be the platform that pays people essentially the most of all of the platforms out there. That is one of their primary goals.
Mhm.
They,
Or at least be the frame. So I'll even make some
yeah,
context around that.
yeah.
Be the
To have
framework
the
for
platform
it.
that the person can deliver and their delivery.
Yeah, because smaller channels and the YouTube partner program is great. Again, I made a short about this the other day. Checks come on the 21st of the month. It's a great time
Mhm.
for the check. But YouTube partner program, it is what it is. But being able to have integrations into like a merch shop, being able to
Mhm.
have integrations into digital services that you also offer as well, being able to have the community tab, being able to have super thanks and super chats and all that. So there's revenue to be made from that end. Um, the monies that come from some of the other social networks, from Meta and from Snapchat, and no, wait a minute, now TikTok is pretty dope. Hold on, let me hold up because TikTok, don't pay it, don't sleep on TikTok until they get banned in the U.S. Take a look at TikTok, but the monies that comes from some of the other platforms, even Twitter. I'll always call it Twitter. I'll never call it X. Right, the subscriptions that I get from Twitter are significantly less in my situation. I'm being transparent, even significantly less than what I get through YouTube by having all of the integrations with the digital shops and with the consultancy and being able to integrate all of those other tools into my YouTube community. So hang in there. Keep doing the thing. Don't get stuck and don't get over
Anxious.
hesitant. Don't get hesitant in terms of continuing to do the thing. I can't think of any good words today. What? Maybe we can't do a show on Friday anymore. I can't. I don't have my big words
Your
with me.
brain shut down.
It's
Your big word brain shut down.
well. What? See, I'll tell you what happened. I got to notice my iPad flashed on me because Amazon showed up with the new lens for the camera.
Oh,
So that you
you
lost me
distracted.
when I
You
got
trying to talk
yeah,
about that. You trying to go get that lens.
yeah. So you lost
So
me about
I'm while
10
you go
minutes ago.
I'm gonna give you a quick break because I'm gonna give the community some information. I'm gonna take you off
Micah,
camera and
oh,
let you.
no, I'm not gonna get it now. No, Micah, hopefully that answered your question. If I didn't, if I need to go in more detail, put it in the comment.
But Micah also asked another question. He asked I think it's how do I connect with you, and I'm not sure which you he's referring to, but I'm gonna go ahead and put this um back up. If you and one of the moderators will put a link to James's YouTube channel in the comments, but go to jameshicks.link and all of the he can tell you all about the stuff that's there. So I'm gonna let him tell you because he just did you did a thing. You did a
I just
thing.
listen.
You
I
just
made it
did a
more.
thing.
I did. I made it. It's pretty now.
It's
It was
pretty.
very. It's very easy now. It's very
Okay.
centralized, one location for everything. So all of my primary links are there. All the YouTube channel, the main web, the getting on my calendar, the merch shop, all of the things are in one specific location, and that's just really the best way to reach me, even from a social media perspective, right? Because I've got my LinkedIn tied in there, and I've got my IG, my TikTok. So I've made one link that everyone can get to instead of trying to remember multiple uh, subdomains and things of that.
Awesome. So you want to connect with James Hicks? Go to jameshicks.link and all the things are there because
All
he
the
did a
things
thing. Because he did a thing.
I did.
Uh, um, so the last thing I want to talk about, and we may have, and I'm gonna this is y'all I'm gonna let James coach me in public. Jesus help me. What was I thinking? What was I
You over there
thinking?
pushing buttons. You over there pushing buttons.
Oh
do,
Lord.
do it.
But I'm opening the door.
Hmm.
Um, this second year, I've grown, as you know, and I'm not talking numbers. Numbers have grown, but I haven't been on a super fast trajectory or hockey stick. Really, that has not been my goal. That really truly has not been my goal.
Good point.
But reflecting and assessing on, you watch me, you talk to me, we have conversations, sometimes ones that hurt. A little bit, just a little bit, but
Hmm.
they're for the good. And so this is your time to say, and not only for me, but for the rest of the community, by extension, next, where you grow through. Where does Florence grow to next? Where does Equip Institute grow to next? What has to change from what you see? Because you see at different
I
layers.
Yeah, I I I I see in your future. I'm gonna read this crystal ball here, right? I
Oh
see in your
boy, crystal
future,
balls.
and hopefully in your near term future, um, premium access to some of this content, individualized one on ones, and member only types of chats, member only types of streams. So if we're talking about this particular platform, I see you advertising and marketing that Equipped Institute is having a premium service offering, either that only goes to newsletter subscribers, that only goes to channel members, not just channel subscribers, but a higher level of conversation, more specific to individual needs, as
Mm,
opposed to the carte blanche to 35,000 foot stuff. That's where I see you going, because you're already doing that. You're already giving those insights. You're already giving that information, but let's turn that into a revenue stream. Let's turn that into, and you notice I didn't call it a workshop. I didn't call it a master class. I didn't call it any of that. I just said premium content, premium delivery, premium instruction, to where you are being really specific and prescriptive about the messages that you give to the folks who decide that they want to come into that session, come into that room, and you spend time with them. Right? Could be, you got the Zoom integration with Ecamm. Boom, you got 49 people. You got however many people, and they're sitting there, and then one comes on the screen and they ask you a question before they can get in the room. They got to pay $250. Whatever the number, the money is the number is the number. But again, it's a premium conversation. It's a very specific bit of instruction. It's a very specific engagement, intimate engagement with you as a subject matter expert and someone looking to solve a business challenge, business opportunity. That right there, I think, really is where you're knocking on the door of that. And I'm gonna sit back and just watch when that does happen. I'm just gonna smile and toast you, because I really think that outside of some of the other things that you're doing that you could be doing, I really think by providing focused, consistent, specific content to an engaged audience is that next step.
okay. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. So when it comes, I'm gonna say James said, James told me, hey, if you're out there and you have not hit the like button, go ahead and hit the like button and let me know that this has been valuable. I'm gonna do one more scroll and see if anybody has questions here. I don't see any more. I'm looking. I appreciate
I'm gonna
everyone being here.
I'm
Go
gonna I'm
ahead,
gonna say
sir.
this too, and I'm not gonna put their business out all in the streets. But again, let's talk about Yolanda as well. She's got
Yes,
multiple facets
she
of her
bad.
life that she do. Listen, Yolanda, the truth, y'all.
She
Y'all
the
need to go
truth.
Google her, and she's got different things going on as well. And
Mhm.
again, even by providing,
She got me liking football.
right. So not even just the
How did
football
that
stuff,
happen?
but but the other channels that she has, and some of the things that she does on a day-to-day basis as well. If she wanted to, Ilana, if you wanted to, you could find a way, and we could brainstorm a way of turning that into an entrepreneurship type of endeavor as well. And I think, and I know people will pay attention to what they pay for, and people will be willing and interested and banging down the door to come and hear you talk about some of the other aspects of the stuff that you do on your other channel. And again, I'm not putting everybody's business out there in the street, but there's
Uh-oh.
opportunity. There's opportunity everywhere. Opportunity everywhere.
Miss Yolanda, he coming for you. He coming for you. I sorry. He was supposed to be coming for me. I didn't mean to get him
I'm
on
coming. Listen,
you.
we coming for everybody. The gloves are off. Gloves are
Yeah,
off.
I this is let me just say this. This is an amazing community.
Mm. Hmm.
Every person who's in comment tonight in the comments tonight, and I'm going to say many of you who are watching on the replay who comment afterwards, they do amazing work, and they're each different. And I pay attention and I consume their content because it serves me, it helps me, it grows me, it fuels me, it feeds me. No one I know is purity. Now, if it was just purity entertainment, it probably wouldn't, because I'm not that girl who I'm not an entertainment type person. That's just not my jam. But every person who has come together and come and join this community and it's engaged and the inner circle and the accountability groups, it it's that it's just that accountability groups. And there's something that I get from it. There's growth, there's development, there's feeding and encouragement and uplifting that I get
Mm.
from each of them. And it's so important. And so when I talk to people and I get to know them, like a Michael Flemons, I know what kind of content Michael puts out because I watch it. I know what content that Philip puts out because I need those lessons. Hey, I like football because of Yolanda. I know the difference between the O line and the D line now.
Go
I'm
ahead,
getting
Jack.
bad.
Let's snatch it.
I didn't
Let's
even know
snatch it.
such a thing existed before she taught me, but that's okay. I'm getting it. David Hunt, Songbird, right? Roy, Tech, YouTube analytics, he can break them down like, whoa. Like he
Hmm.
finds, I'm like, how he find that in there? But I get something from each and every one of the people who are in the community. And so that's why it's personal, it's direct for me. People matter. Relationships matter to me. And so I thank you for being here. And you know my thing. I'm gonna let you go get your package. But um and I before I say this last thing, I'm gonna say I could not. There is no way on earth Equip Institute would exist and be consistent and thrive without two people who are the closest to me. One is my brother, emotional CEO, and the other is my best friend, Frank Jackson. When I started the channel, one of the things I would say all the time is I don't go anywhere without one or both of them, hardly ever at all. They won't let me. Even if I wanted to, they won't let me. But they hold me up in a way that I'm so privileged to have. And then James, you and the others came along, Steve came along, and then I was able to stand on you all. And all of us make, produce, create something,
Mm.
whether it's video, events, whatever it is, we're all creators. And we were formed. Truly, I believe this. We were formed to be creators. So I thank you for spending time and giving me my charge for the next year. Whoop,
There
whoop.
it is. Year.
And
Listen, shorter than that. You got 4 months.
oh boy, I got 4
you,
months.
you got
Okay.
4 months.
Oh, that means in February I'm in trouble.
That's okay.
So, I love for you to close us out. Anything you want to leave the community with, the charge you want to leave the community with, the
Mm.
tips and strategies you want to leave the community with. I'm going to give you the floor and then we're going to go home, y'all. He going to go
There it
open
is.
his stuff and get his lens.
That's it.
Mr. James
I
Hicks,
got some
everybody.
gear. Lauren, listen, again, I'm gonna be serious here. I appreciate you for the opportunity, and I shoot it and it's straight. I think it's straight. I hope it's straight. And again, no holds bars. And again, I'm not saying that I'm an expert in every single thing. But I do know a couple of things. And what I don't know, I have people around me who I can put people in touch with, so you can get that expert tutelage. That's what I pride myself on, right? Being that subject matter expert or being that liaison to help folks grow and get to where it is that they want to be. But I can't help you if you don't know where it is that you want to be. I can't motivate you. I can help you go into the right direction once you know what it is that you're trying to do, which is still a huge piece of the struggle, a huge piece of the journey. But I am there for folks to make sure who want to succeed, who want to do the thing, who want to make an impact. I used to work for Apple for 10 years, and right here behind me is Steve Jobs' um, Crazy Ones speech, talking about putting a dent in the universe. Folks that are really trying to put a dent in the universe are the folks that I want to rock with. And there's a lot of folks and a lot of folks in this community in the comments who are doing that. So I implore you again to get out of your own way. I implore you to not worry about being perfect. I implore you to not think you have to have the latest thing that Apple or Samsung or Sony or Rode has announced that you got to have within your studio before you can start sharing messages and talking and growing a community. You got $1,000 phone in your pocket. You don't know anybody's phone number on it, but you sure know how to use that camera on there and take 4K 30, 4K 60 video with. Use that. Leverage what you have, use what you have. Don't go chasing the latest thing. Don't go chasing necessarily the trends. If you have subject matter expertise, if you have a story to tell, someone out there wants to hear you, and they want to hear the flubs, and they want to hear the ums and the ahs and the coughs and the slurps of coffee. They want to hear and see the personality. They want you to help them to enlighten, entertain, and or educate. So do the thing, get out of your own way, and just don't listen to the haters and the naysayers and the trolls, because they're always going to be there, especially when you start growing, especially when you start succeeding. That's where that callus of the skin, that's when the callus of the soul, that's where the callus of the mind has to come in, right? Because you got to be secure and confident in who it is that you are and what it is that you do. There are folks willing to help you. Florence is one of them. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, my friend. Hang out in the I almost called it a break room. Help
In the
me.
cafeteria,
In the
we going through
cafeteria. In the
that.
cafeteria. And I'm going to close this up and see you in a minute. Hey, everybody. I'm going to put some stuff up here. Go watch it because it's going to tell you more of the story this month. We are doing a month of reflection. Glad to have you in the building, and I will see you back here next week. Good night, everybody.